we all assume your preferred posture of prayer. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path, we pray. God, we thank you today on this Scholars Crown Forum and all of us who are here in the building and watching online. God, we thank you for being gracious and merciful even when we couldn't be those things to ourselves. So on this Scholars Day, before we pay homage to the scholars that stand before us, we thank you for the ancestors who fought, died, and suffered so we could get an education. We thank you for the great cloud of witnesses that are long gone before us in the physical but take care of us in the spiritual. Because in the spirit of Althea Gibson, we understand that no matter what accomplishments we make, somebody helped you. We continue to march forward for figures like James Baldwin, who helped remind us the purpose of education is to create in a person the ability to look at the world for themselves to make their own decisions. We march on in the spirit of Mary McLeod Bethune when she left us with the words, "I leave you a thirst for education." We march on in the same way Nelson Mandela did with his admirable words of, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." So for these scholars being honored and all the scholars in the room, God, I ask that you ignite that fire in them to continue this race, that even though it may get tired sometimes, that they are reminded you have a plan for them. So God, I pray that when their readings pick up for class and the papers start stacking up on top of each other, and when they are studying in the late night hour, God, be there with them, because in the end of the day, they will be able to say, through many dangers, toils, and snares, that I've already come, and it was grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me on. Keep our scholars' creativity and to make sure they are not a byproduct of someone else's plans, but they are distinct because of your plan. So I leave you with the words of Dr. Benjamin Elijah Mays, that whatever you do, strive to do it so well that no man living and no man dead and no man yet to be born could do it any better. We pray this prayer in the name of all things good, but the name I know best, Jesus Christ. Ashe and amen.
Good morning, Morehouse scholars. This is an historical day, and I'm very proud to stand before you to engage in this tradition of acknowledging academic excellence at Morehouse College. Today is an historic day for a number of reasons. One, we have over 1,000 students who have earned the right to be called students who earned a position on the Dean's List and for honor roll during fall 2022 and spring 2022. In addition, we have over 500 students who have cumulative GPAs that are above a 3.69. Please give yourselves a round of applause. The significance of this is that no one does this alone. Our faculty, our advisors, our academic coaches, all of our staff, our tutors, all of our support staff, whether it's in academic affairs or in student affairs, are all positioned to assist you in your moment of need. And so I want to encourage you to make sure that if you are in need of help academically or in other ways, please reach out and communicate with us so we know that you need our assistance. We are here for that purpose. Today is an official function of the Provost's office, and according to our catalog, and I'll read the stipulation there. Each student who at the end of the semester has attained a grade point average of 3.0 or higher shall have his name appear on the honor roll for that semester. To be eligible for this honor, the student must have completed a minimum of 15 semester hours and shall have earned no grade lower than C. So that's for the honor roll. Full-time students in residence more than one semester must maintain a cumulative grade point average of 3.0 with no grade lower than C in order to be accorded Dean's List honors. At the discretion of the Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs, the names of students receiving either honor roll or Dean's List honors may be announced in an appropriate manner. This is the occasion. So we will first start with, I'm going to just get a confirmation here. Great. If you could go ahead and display the program now on the monitor. I'll say before we start that process of calling names, if you are a student who has a 4.0, I'm going to ask that you come down front. Your names have been placed on seats. If you would come down front and find your seat and be in that space, so as we acknowledge you at the end of this process, you will be in the order of awards. So again, if you have a 4.0 right now, come down and find your seat. Thank you. Yeah. Very good. So we will start with an acknowledgement of those students who were on the honor roll for fall 2022. As you can see, there are a host of names. Again, this is unprecedented. There will be a QR code where students that will be emailed out to you so you can have your own copy of this program and find your name on the list. But if you would now, great. So let's applaud the acknowledgement of these students. Now for spring 2022 honor roll. Again, some of the same names for the spring honor roll. And the second page, please. Great, and let's acknowledge them as well. And now, actually keep going through yes, there we are now. Now the Dean's List for fall 2022. Great, let's acknowledge them. And for spring 2022. This is the spring 2022 Dean's List. Very good. Let me add that these lists do incorporate our Morehouse online students. And so for those students, if your name is called this morning for an award, we will see to it that you receive your award at your place of residence. Now, I'll ask you to indulge me while I read the names of our top scholars who have cumulative GPAs of 3.69. These are students who have maintained a GPA above a 3.69 during their matriculation, regardless of their classification. These students will receive a medal which will be distributed at a later date. We'll send you a private invitation for an occasion where you'll be receiving these. And the reason why is because there's so many of you, logistically, that would not be good to do that this morning because of the number. But if you'll bear with me, I'm going to read through each of these names because they bear being heard. Hector Acosta, Maxwell Adams, Stephen Adams, Adetowo Ademilui, Unimashi Akande, Yasin Al-Hadid, Christopher Allen, Benjamin Allison, Julian Amaya, Edmund Anderson, Jair Anderson, Jamari Anderson, Perry Avant, Mansa Aziz, London Bailey, Ekundayo Bandele, Everett Banks, Joshua Banks, Nasir Barnes, Ronald Barnes, Basil Barrett, Karen Beckham, Calvin Bell, Jamari Billups Barker, Jeffrey Blackshear, Matthias Blake, Jalen Boney, Amari Bowman, Quincy Box, Johnston Box, David Brewer, William Briley, Justin Brommel, Joshua Brooks, Sean Brooks, Jaden Brown, Jonathan Brown, Julius Brown, Marcus Brown, Patrick Brown, Antonio Brown, Torrance Brown, Zachary Bryant, Daniel Buchanan, Jackson Buckner, Douglas Burnett, Alexander Burt, Charlie Burton, Jerry Bird, George Cadle, Jalen Campbell, Michael Cannon, Jimmy Capella, Leighton Carr, Keith Carr, Kiernan Catley, Mohammed Sharif, Charles Cherry, Amir Childs, Storm Chin, James Choice, Xavier Clark, Aidan Clark Veal, Stephen Clay, William Clay, Cameron Cleveland, Miles Colbert, Armand Coleman, Noah Collier, Grant Commodore, Jordan Coney, Christian Conyers, Damian Cooper, Dion Corley, Jamel Cotton, Alan Cowan, Omar Colbreth, Joseph Cummings, John Curry, Joshua Curry, Jabez Daly, Brandon D'Alembert, Preston Daniel, Cameron Daniels, Nigel Davis, Jaden Davis, Cade Davis, Tiger Dawson, Guadalupe Deanda, Johari Dean Lindsay, Keon Dent, Don DeReese, Jordan DeVoe, Caleb Dixon, Jonathan Dixon, Nia Dokes, Joshua Drakes, Cruz Malik Duhart, Jordan Dunstan, Alec Easton, Craig Edelin, Kennedy Edgerton, Miles Edmond, Aaron Edwards, Aaron Egwekwe, Isan Elamin, Byron Ellis, Jalen M. Ellis, Jalen I. Ellis, Devin Ellison, Jaden Ellison, Jordan Elul, Obi Michael Emerald, Esaias Esther, Christian Etheridge, Akil Evans, Emmanuel Eziakor, Daniel Fairfax, Patrick Faustin, Dalton Favors, Yancy Finkley, Joshua Fisher, D'Angelo Fletcher, David Flowers, Jahi Flowers, Jevian Fluellen, Devin Foster, Robert France, Jordan Freeman, Eric Gallardo, Joshua Gandy, Danny Garner, Niles Garrison, William Jenneret, Basil Ghali, Vincent Gibson, Jarrett Gilbert, Cullen Gilliam, Alan Gibson, Ruben Gerenge, Freddie Golden, Charles Gooden, Jeremiah Gooden, Edwin Gore, Miles Gaucher, Dwayne Goff, Kenner Grant, Joseph Grant, Neil Grasty, Joshua Graves, Evan Gray, Darkis Gray, Bryce Green, Tyler Green without an E, Jordan Green, Tyler Green with an E, Robert Gregory, Sine Griffin, Ryan Grimmett, Rodney Gross, Zachary Gunn, Titus Haley, Kevin Hamilton, Peter Hamilton, Devin Hardwick, Robert Harrell, Cornell Harris, Aiden Harris, Justin Harrison, Malik Harrison, Johansi Harrison, Xavier Harris Smart, Roderick Hart, Courtney Hayes, Malone Hemsley, Trevon Henderson, Michael A. Henry, Michael C. Henry, Brandon Henry, Taj Henry Jackson, Jeremiah Hickey, Miles Hickman, Samuel Hill, Jaron Hinton Bruce, Tristan Hitchens Brooken, Dushaw Hockett, Bernard Hodges, Benjamin Holman, Eric Holmes, Jarrett Holt, Joshua Hood, Zion Horn, Silver Horsley, Earl Horton, Broderick Houston, Jaquez Hoyt, Michael Hubbard, Brian Hudson, Ethan Hunt, Ryan Hunt, Anthony Hunter, Alexander Hurley, Julian Hutchins, Austin Inman, Ositadinma Irono, James Ivy, Dalen Ian, Ahmad Jackson, Duwand Jackson, Roland Jackson, Fito Jean-Louis, Olutade Yegede, Michael Jernigan, Jakari Jewell, Kingsley John, Jaden Johnson, Kennedy Johnson, Zion Johnson, Bryce Johnson, Christian Johnson, Isaiah Johnson, Jonathan Johnson, Alonzo Jones, Brandon Jones, Drake Jones, Howard Jones, Eric Jones, Garrick Jones, Donovan Jones Myers, Jair Jordan, Badi Joyce, Omar Kaba, Felix Camucci, John Kangwa Gaskins, Micah Kelly, Brian Kemay, Anthony Kemp, Javan Kent, Aminab Kiniferib, Rashad Kirkpatrick, Antonio Knox, Brogan Corta, Josh Kaye, Devontae Lacasse, William Lathan, Jamie Lawrence, Kobe Lawson Chabanu, Jordan Lawton, Spencer Leak, Philip Leatherman, Lamont Lee, George Lester, Paul Lockett, Terrence Lockett, Kevin Long, Jeremiah Lothar, Christian Lubin, Michael Luckett, Christopher Lucy, Lorenzo Lugo, Roderick Mack, Harvis Macon, Jason Mann, Jaden Marquez, Justin Marrow, Cedric Marshall, Marcus Marshall, Precious Martin, Darius Martin, Edward Masha, Kendall Mason, Martin Mays, Henry McCants, Jarvis McLean, Farrell McCullough, Xavier McDaniel, Xavier McDaniel, Suna McKitty, Taylor McNeil, Divine McNeil, Lee McQueen, Malik McCrae, Elijah Megginson, Tommy Mezamur, Kareem Michael, Christopher Miller, Jonathan Miner, Aaron Mitchell, Bongani Mlauzi, Isaiah Mojica, Trinaj Mungo, Michael Monk, Javian Moore, Kendall Moore, Benjamin Moore, Kashawn Morgan, Melvin Morgan, William Morris, Elijah Moss, Miles Moten, William Murphy, Sidney Murray, Enosh Mutenda, Ethan Nelson, Reginald Nelson, Tevin Nesbitt, Mark Nichols, Mark Norrell, Ryan Norris, Marlon Nurse, Garrett Oatis, Leader Omukanye, Willie Owens, Darius Pace, Grant Palmer, Jaquez Parks, Taft Parsons, Frederick Patterson, Chaka Fair, Khalil Pierce, James Pearson, David Pilson, Elijah Pinkney, Robert Pinkney, Darian Pittman, Michael Poindexter, Cameron Ponton, Kyle Pope, Darius Porter, George Pratt, Rashid Prescott, Cecile Price, Jaden Proper, Joseph Ramirez, Titus Randall, Philip Redden, Dexter Redding, Omari Reed, Jalen Reynolds, Desmond Roden, Noah Richardson, Yamir Richmond, David Ricketts, Jeffrey Riddle, Jason Roberson, Jacob Robertson, Aaron Robinson, Josiah Robinson, Sid Robinson, Kasai Rogers, Justice Ross, Colin Royal, Wardell Royal, Bryson Ruffin, Jordan Ruffin, Eric Russell, Noah Russell, Horace Ryans, Yasir Salim, Darian Salman, Kobe Sample, Daryl Sams, Evan Sanders, Seth Sanders, Cameron Sanders, Omar Sarr, Phoenix Satterfield, Caleb Salisbury, Anthony Scott, Andre C., Darian Shepard, Ian Shepard, Ulrich Simmons, Nathan Simmons, LaDerrick Smith, Robert Smith, Josiah Smith, Gregory Sneed, Lee Saunier, Santiago Soto, Alexander Spiller, Kenyon Spots, Levi Springs, Jamari Stanton, Brian Stapleton, Braden Starver, Casey Staten, Clarence Stevens, Xavier Stevens, Justin Stonework, Ethan Strader, Caleb Strickland, Brian Strong, Tradell Suber, William Swan, Cedric Swinson, Amani Talbert, Broderick Talley, Joshua Tate Roberts, Christian Taylor, Terrence Teal, Dwayne Terrell, Michael Thomas Loving, Gavin Thorne, Stanford Tippin, Kanan Tomlin, David Taughty, Rashad Townsend, Aaron Treese, Jaden Trippett, Elijah Truitt, Joshua Tuboku Metzger, Quentin Tucker, Trent Turpin, Kenneth Ugo, Justin Upshaw, David Valdez, DeAndre Vaughn, Ricardo Vega, Elijah Walker, Herbert Walker, Kendall Walker, Kyle Walker, Kabari Walker, Alexander Walton, Joshua Ward, Martin Washington, William Wasson. Let me adjust here. Jamar Watson, Jaleel Watson Williams, Caleb Weaver, Mario Wells, Thane Wharton, Ali White, Colin White, Omar White Evans, William Whitfield, Bryce Williams, Shechel Williams, Simeon Williams, Kendrick Williams, Paul Wilson, Isaiah Wimbush, Marcus Woodard, Michael Woolcock, Kevin Woolfolk, Anthony Wooten, and Gerard Young. Yes. These are all gentlemen who have cumulative GPAs of 3.69 and above. Now, again, if you are a student who has a 4.0 average, if you would please make your way down front and find your name in the seats. Your name is on a seat, so if you would, go ahead and find that seat. We are going to commence with the acknowledgement of our highest ranking scholars. We will start with our freshmen first and progress to those students who've maintained a 4.0 the longest. As I said, this is a pretty historic occasion because the numbers are so high. And I believe the numbers are high because of your dedication to academic excellence. And for the numbers of you who are, if you find yourself in academic distress, who are reaching out to our support areas and finding that support and dedicating yourself to improving your performance. Remember, the only way to get out of Morehouse is through academics. You can be engaged in social activities and be leaders on campus, but you shouldn't do it at the sacrifice of your academics. We want to see you graduate in 4 years. We like it when you stay longer, but that's a selfish desire because we like having students. But we really want to see you graduate in 4 years because that then is, one, provides you with the greatest rate of return on your investment of an education, but it also allows us to realize that you are actively engaged in the curriculum and our student learning outcomes and are prepared to go out into the world to assume all rights and responsibilities as leaders and as Morehouse men. So now, for the calling of the names of our highest ranking scholars. When I call your name, if you would please come stage right to the stairs to pick up your plaque. And then we'll ask you to pose for a picture down there. So our first student, freshman Unimashi Akande. So I'll progress. If he's not here, I'll progress. Jamari Anderson. You can applaud. Jackson Buckner. Guess it's not good for Crown Forum attendance, huh? Cameron Cleveland. Yes, sir. Nia Dokes. Jordan Dunstan. Aaron Egwekwe. Ryan Grimmett. Malik Harrison. Benjamin Holman. John Kongwa Gaskins. Devontae Lacasse. Frederick Patterson. Yamir Richmond. Omar Sarr. Anthony Scott. Xavier Stevens. Mario Wells. Ali White. Omar White Evans. Shechel Williams. Isaiah Wimbush. These are our freshman 4.0s. Yes. Well, that's just a freshman. Sophomores. Sophomores, Joshua Brooks, Charlie Burton, George Cadle, Michael Cannon, David Flowers, Robert France, Vincent Gibson, Edwin Gore, Joseph Grant, Peter Hamilton, Duwand Jackson, Michael Jernigan, Brogan Korta, Jeremiah Lothar, Jarvis McLean, Lee McQueen, Reginald Nelson, Tevin Nesbitt, Sid Robinson, Nathan Simmons, Levi Springs, Casey Staton, Trudell Suber, Elijah Walker, Kendrick Williams, Anthony Wooten, Gerard Young. These are our sophomore 4.0s. All right, we'll do a quick picture here. Now for our juniors. Ekundayo Bandele, Marcus Brown, Guadalupe de Anda, Patrick Faustin, Devon Foster, Dushaw Hockett, Eric Jones, Rashad Kirkpatrick, Josh Kaye, Lamont Lee, Michael Luckett, Darius Martin, Christopher Miller, Ryan Norris, Jaquez Parks, Aaron Robinson, Colin Royal, Darian Solomon, and Marcus Woodard. These are our juniors, junior 4.0s. All right, and for our seniors, we have 4 seniors who are being acknowledged for cumulative grade point average of a 4.0. Mr. Alan T. Cowan, Edward Masha, George Pratt, and Daryl Sams. Those are our 4.0 seniors. Are they here tonight? Perfect. We will now have a selection from our world-renowned Morehouse College Glee Club. Obi Dimka.
Bakaliba, Good morning. The ancestors rejoice at your success and your excellence. My name is Leah Krike, Associate Provost of Pedagogy and Assessment and Professor of English, and I am so honored to announce the winners of prestigious international fellowships and awards. The Beinecke Scholarship Program, which is one of the most prestigious scholarships in the United States, is awarded to Calvin Bell, class of '24. The Fulbright Scholarship, which awards grants to study abroad or to teach abroad, is given to Markel Kelly. He is a finalist, and we're waiting to hear the good news that he has, in fact, gotten the award. The ESU Leward Moore Scholarship selected Lorenzo Lugo, class of '24, as a finalist. And we are overjoyed at the announcement of the Marshall Scholarship, the first that we've had in many, many years, which is awarded to someone most deserving of high ability to study in the United Kingdom at Oxford, and that goes to George Anthony Pratt, class of '23. Ever since Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. won the Nobel Prize, we have dreamed that the Nobel would come again our way. And there is a new prize for students out of the Nobel family called the Kleist Nobel Good Earth and Sustainability Award. It is granted to a student who has done a great deal for advocacy and social entrepreneurship, and that is awarded to Alexander Taylor, class of '23. For those among you who will be foreign service officers and diplomats, the Thomas R. Pickering Foreign Affairs Graduate Fellowship is granted, and we are so happy to have two this year: Michael Henry, class of '23, and Mark Hall Kelly, class of '23. The coveted Rhodes Scholarship selected John Curry, class of '23, as a finalist. The Harry S. Truman Scholarship selected Calvin Bell, class of '24, as a finalist. The Pipeline Program to Higher Careers in Higher Education, the UNCF Mellon Mays Undergraduate Fellowship. This year, we have Taylor Battle, class of '25. He is mentored by Dr. Karchik Sims Alvarado. Also awarded, Mark Riggins, class of '25, and his mentor is Dr. Maricela Martinez Cola. In addition, we have Mr. Kyler Henderson, class of '25. his mentor is Dr. Nathaniel Normant. We wish to also acknowledge a prize that has been around for quite some time. It was created by our own Dr. Lawrence Carter and his family in Ohio. They have a Martin Luther King Jr. Scholar Prize that is awarded every year. The person who won it this year for 22-23 is Mr. George Anthony Pratt. For our scientists, the Barry Goldwater Scholarship and Excellence in Education Foundation awarded Justin Bromell and Malik McCrae. And that concludes our National Fellowships and Awards for this year. Thank you.
Good morning. I am David Morrow, and I am the Secretary of the Delta of Georgia chapter of Phi Beta Kappa here at Morehouse College. I am pleased to make brief remarks on behalf of the Phi Beta Kappa Society. Founded in 1776, the Phi Beta Kappa Society is the nation's oldest and most prestigious honor society. The Greek letters refer to the words philosophia biou kubernetes, which means the love of learning or wisdom is the guide of life. Chapters are housed at nearly 300 of the foremost colleges and universities throughout the United States, with 6 in the state of Georgia. There are currently only 4 chapters at historically black colleges and universities. In 1953, chapters were chartered at Fisk University and Howard University. Our chapter here at Morehouse College was chartered in 1968, and the chapter at Spelman College was chartered in 1998. Our alumnus, Dr. Michael Lomax, CEO and President of the United Negro College Fund, is the first student to be inducted into our chapter. He states that Phi Beta Kappa, quote, is one of the great academic achievements of his college career. And he feels honored to be able to say that he played a part in bringing such a prestigious organization to Morehouse College. Phi Beta Kappa is a liberal arts honor. A student's program must unambiguously embody the liberal arts and sciences with no grade below C in any course, including pass-fail courses. We are proud to recognize our students who were inducted as juniors in 2022. Jordan Coney, John Curry, Javion Fluellen, Rodney Gross, Kobe Lawson Chavanu, George Pratt, Daryl Sams, Ricardo Vega. On behalf of Delta of Georgia chapter of Phi Beta Kappa and our president, Dr. J.K. Haynes, and other faculty members who are here assembled, I extend sincere congratulations to all of our scholars being celebrated today. Best wishes for your promising future.
Morehouse scholars and Morehouse family. I'm not Brock Mayers, if you're looking at the program. But I assume that Dr. Mayers was not able to join us this morning. This moment is a special moment to me, and I think to a number of our longtime staff, as we are going to have our inaugural presentation of of a Dean Darden Academic Resilience Award. This award is so named because Dean Darden, who's now retired from our institution, for so many years was the champion of students who were in academic distress, those who were struggling to find a way to fit in. He provided for them a wonderful sense of being anchored in the traditions of Morehouse, and to help them to realize they had a space in the brotherhood that we call the Morehouse man. When I came into administration back in 2014, one of the persons I got to meet and work with was Dean Darden. He expressed to me the importance of all of our college resources being leveraged toward the success of each and every one of our students. Each and every one of our students, regardless of where they come from, regardless of who their parents are, what their strengths or weaknesses are, regardless of fraternity or not, that each and every one of you deserve and are entitled to access to all of those resources. He helped me to understand that really the strength and legacy of Morehouse is to truly be that place where all young, talented Black men who are accepted to come into these through our gates and matriculate, that this is the place which should be supportive of them regardless of their situation. So, on today, one, I'm going to ask you if you would join me up here, good sir. I want you to join me in acknowledging the service of my colleague, Dean Darden.
Thank you, Dr. Foster. And good morning, young men. Congratulations to all the scholars who have showed up on the screen with the awards, and all the others that are in attendance who are scholars themselves deep in their hearts and their minds. I want to have a couple of things to say to you, is that this award, which is an Academic Resilience Award, kind of really speaks to what I believed in, what I continue to believe in, ever since being a student here in 1968 as a freshman. Resiliency. You know, when you set a goal, don't ever think that it's a straight line. It's crooked, it bends, it presses you down, it makes you crazy sometimes, it makes you confused sometimes. But you gotta have some bounce back spirit and fortitude. You gotta be mindful of the surroundings. And you got to believe in yourself that regardless of whatever is in front of you, you can do it. I've had the pleasure or the gift to serve over 17,000 Morehouse students over 25 years. And what I've learned reflecting in my retirement is that I've seen so many students come in and run into challenges that they didn't believe that they could overcome, but they did overcome. You have the power in you to do anything that you wish to do in this life, whether you realize it or not. Resiliency, develop that muscle to bounce back. If you're in a financial aid situation, you're in an academic situation, find a way through. Don't sit back, don't accept And why am I telling you that? Because the world needs you more than ever. Black men now, more than ever. They need you. Yes, you'll come out here smarter and brighter, but you gotta have heart and you gotta have determination. Because it's hell out here, for especially our community, and you all know that. We need you to be resilient in your goals and your aspirations. And I'm gonna leave you with this, with a Chinese proverb. To fall 7 times and rise 8. Why 8? 8 is a mystical Asian number, and it means prosperous. Why 8? You fall 7 times and you rise 8. Finally, you learn. You learn what you did not know that caused you to fall. And when you reach 8 and you realize where you were and where you are now, that's the strength you're gonna need to make the next climb to the next mountain of your realization. So I'll leave you with that, guys. We're very proud of all of you, but believe me, practice resiliency. It's in you. The ancestors sent you. God is with you every single minute. Have faith. Believe in yourself and do not give up. Thank you very much.
So we are giving out 2 awards this year, one to a graduating senior in our traditional campus. And this, let me put on my spectacles here. The Dean Darden Academic Resilience Award is being presented to Mr. Roland Bland in recognition of his commitment to Morehouse ideals, his persistence and tenacity to overcome academic adversity. Is Mr. Bland in presence? There we go. The second award is given to one of our Morehouse online students, Mr. Kelvin Beasley. And it is presented in recognition of his commitment to the pursuit of his college degree, returning to Morehouse College after 29 years is a meritorious achievement. Congratulations to Mr. Beasley. And we'll be sure to send this to him. Thank you. We'll all now stand for the college hymn.